Today is September 19th. It is Tuesday. Tonight is Greenback night, so hopefully you and your parent or guardian will be able to come out tonight and meet your teacher, Mr. G. So today, for our warm-up, we're not grabbing our journals. However, if I can grab this, we are going to have calculators, so that needs to go away. I'll just delete that real quick. All right, so you do need calculators, and you do need the papers. You grab it on the way in. And as our warm-up, we're going to actually just get started on the notes. The notes at the top say notes, midpoint, and distance formula. Now at the top right, we're going to start writing in over here. Okay, over here. Let's go ahead and fill this in. All right, we're going to write the midpoint formula, which says, if I can put an M for midpoint, okay, it equals, I'm going to have a big parentheses, and it's going to be x sub 1, which means little 1, plus x sub 2, which means little 2, divided by 2. That is my x value for the midpoint. Notice, adding two things up and dividing by 2, that's an average. So you're just taking the average of the two x values to find your x value for the midpoint, comma, and then up here, you're going to have y sub 1, y little 1, plus y sub 2, which is y with a little 2, all over 2, and end the parentheses. Okay, hopefully you have enough room to write that. But it should be x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. That's the formula for midpoint that we are going to use on this notes sheet and then subsequently on the assignment. So if you look at number 1, it says, find the midpoint. How do you find the midpoint? Midpoint formula, right? So of a segment, that gives me endpoints. Now, I hope you know, I'm going to do this in red, my x values, x1, and over here this 2 is my x2, right? Whenever you have a coordinate point, it's always x comma y, right? So when we talk about x1 and x2, that's what these two are. And then I'm going to do this next one in blue. This 7 is going to be my y1, and the negative 5 is going to be my y2. Okay? So basically, I'm going to break these into two separate problems. I'm going to simplify these expressions. So if I do x1 plus x2, right? So if I want to do x1 plus x2 over 2, that means I'm going to do 8 plus 2 and then divide by 2. Now, it's very important that you do this correctly in your calculator. There's two ways to do it. I'm going to show you the way I would do it with mental math. First, I'm going to do the top, okay? So I'm going to do this part first, on top. 8 plus 2 is 10, and then 10 over 2 is 5, okay? Now I'm going to show you how you can do this using your calculator. If you were going to use your calculator to calculate this, there's a right way and a wrong way. So the right way to do this second step, 8 plus 2 over 2, I highly suggest that you use parentheses on top. So here's what it's going to look like in your calculator. 8 plus 2 over 2, you're going to be at press the on button at the home menu. You can either hit A for calculate, but I suggest hitting number 1, new document, and then it'll ask you to save, do not save, and then hit add calculator. Now, like I was saying, parentheses are important for the top part. 8 plus 2, and the parentheses, and then divide by 2. Order of operations matters. You need to add first this time before you divide. So that's why we do the parentheses. Do you see how we got exactly what we needed? We got 5. So, using your calculator is great. if you use it correctly. Now, by the way, we'll make that red, because we're going to use blue for the y's. So below that, if you have room, hopefully y1 plus y2 over 2 equals, and what are my y values? 7 and negative 5. So 7 plus negative 5 over 2. Again, this top part needs to be in parentheses. When you think about it, you need to do that first before you divide by 2. So let's just cut to the calculator. Why not? So 7 plus negative 5 over 2. Parentheses, 7 plus, the negative sign is right here. Okay? Negative 5 and the parentheses, and then divide by 2. We get 1. Because 7 plus negative 5 gives me 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, so if you don't have this step right before equals 1, that's fine. So we have an x value of 5 and a y value of 1. So I could write 5 and 1 as an ordered pair like this. This is my midpoint between the 2 points that were given, because I was, as you can see off to the right here, given 2 endpoints. So I want you to try this on number 2 and number 3. It's the same exact method using those numbers. So that's your warm-up that you're showing me you can do, number 2 and 3, on this part of the notes for midpoint, and then we will get to the bottom ones that are a little different in a minute. Go ahead and get started on that.